Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about 3 Notion apps that will absolutely help you as an entrepreneur, side hustler, whatever, to supercharge your productivity and save you tons of time. Let's talk about it. I've been MIA, I know it. It has been really hard to find time to make YouTube videos. They just take so much more time than just about any other form of social media content I put out. But I'm not gonna apologize so much in this one. I am going to put my money where my mouth is and actually get more consistent about showing up on YouTube. That is something I am committing to through the end of the year. We're gonna make it happen. So as I said, today we're gonna be talking about 3 different Notion apps that you can use to save you time, supercharge your productivity. They are not all for entrepreneurs. So if you are somebody who does not have a business, has no interest in building a business, that's okay. This is still gonna be something that is applicable to you. There's just gonna be a couple of the apps that maybe you won't find as much use for. But those of you who are entrepreneurs building businesses on the side, this is going to be tremendously beneficial to you, I swear. Some of these tools have honestly saved me so much time. They've given me my sanity back, especially when it comes to social media. So we're going to be talking today about NotionSocial, Inbox to Notion, a tool called The Gist, which I'll explain more about what that one's about. And then I've got a bonus one for you at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that. As always, as we go through these videos, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are enjoying what you are seeing, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to drop them below. All of the links are going to be in the description. And with that, let's head into app number 1, NotionSocial. NotionSocial is perhaps my favorite tool that we are going to be talking about today because I don't know about you, I hate having to go to external applications to schedule, especially the fact that they only seem to ever work for like one type of social media, like Planoly is for Instagram, you use Buffer for this, you use this for that. I want it to all be in one place. And what better than to have it be inside of Notion because that's already where I do all my content planning anyway. When I found NotionSocial, oh my God, it blew my mind because not only can you schedule for all of the different social media sites you're going to use inside of Notion, but you can literally tell this thing when you are ready with a change in a status property, and you can schedule the same post to multiple different social media platforms. They do a great job on their website of breaking down the advantages of using NotionSocial. For example, don't waste time copying and pasting and switching tabs when you could just do it all in one place. So all you ever have to do, they totally break it down for you. You have to add your social media accounts, connect your Notion database, and then once you've got all the properties set up, it is as easy as changing properties and statuses inside your Notion database. Let me go ahead and show you mine. So I have a content calendar inside of Notion, and as soon as I hooked this up to NotionSocial, it supercharged. So let me show you all I have to do to get a post ready to go live on any social media platform. Let's go ahead and do this one with its burnout signs, 100 tabs. It's a reel that I previously recorded, and I went ahead and I downloaded from Snap Insta. So I've got my video right here. It's the same video that I posted before. I'm just repurposing it. Now we can also see here that I have my caption here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take this caption and I am just going to like zhuzh it up a little bit with my custom GPT copywriter inside of ChatGPT. If you want to know more about how to do this, drop a comment below. I can show you how to set one up. Fun fact, my next masterclass is going to be all about AI and automation if you want to get on that. So AI just gave me a new version of this. I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here. I do have to space it out when I paste it into this caption space here. Beautiful. So then I'm going to also go ahead and use AI to help me generate some new hashtags. All right, awesome. So I've got my media, I've got my hashtags, and I've got my caption. So all I need to do is I need to go in and tell NotionSocial what platforms I want it to post this to. Now, whenever it's a reel, which I've designated right here to tell it that I want it to post as a video content, I tend to post these on Instagram, on TikTok, and on YouTube. And it can post to all 3 different platforms at the same time without me necessarily having to create a new version. Now, that being said, I do tend to do multiple versions of this because I like to use ManyChat automations to do a comment, and I like to have my first comment be hashtags on Instagram, but not so much on TikTok and YouTube. But what's really easy about this is I can go in and I can duplicate this. It makes another exact same copy of this. So then I can make a version that is for Instagram. So I'll go ahead and remove TikTok and YouTube from here. That's got my comment and my hashtags. And then I can have a version that is for TikTok and YouTube, where instead of saying comment masterclass, I can go ahead and say head to coachellen.com/masterclass. And then I'll say, let's get those core foundations set up. So now that I've got both of these versions, all I need to do for each one is to go in and set my time. So let's go ahead and we'll just do it early on Thursday. So we'll do 8 a.m. And now I have everything in here. I've got my media, I've got my caption, I've got my hashtags. I've told it what kind of media it is and where I want it to post it. So now all I have to do in here is click done, and it's going to schedule this to Instagram for me. Same thing when I go into the other version that I made for YouTube and TikTok, just go in here and click done. And there you go. After a couple minutes, the property changed to scheduled. And if we go back into NotionSocial and under posts, it's going to show that I have those 2 upcoming posts in here. It's so seamless, and I love it using it so much. Highly recommend checking it out. And I'm going to go ahead and drop a $25 off link in the description below. So that was NotionSocial. And now I'm going to go ahead and show you another tool called Inbox to Notion. Basically, it turns your inbox emails into tasks and can help wrangle all of the tasks and to-dos that you might have in your inbox all the way into your Notion system. Basically, a lot of these tools that I'm showing you today are ways in which we can take all the stuff that we used to do outside of Notion and bring it into Notion. So if you're somebody like me who just likes things being centralized, this is another way we can do that. So how Inbox to Notion works is it's essentially a Chrome extension, and it's a Chrome extension that allows you to add emails to your Notion systems as tasks, tag them, prioritize them, etc. So if your email has some sort of a follow-up task that needs to go along with it, you can easily organize it in the place where you're already doing your task management, which is that not a win-win? So how we're going to do this is you're just going to go down here and say start free trial, and it's going to take you to a new web page where you can add a Chrome extension. So you're just going to go install from Chrome Web Store, and then you're going to add the Chrome extension to your browser. I've already done this, so let me show you how it works once you are inside of your email inbox. So once you add the extension to your browser, what it's going to do is it's going to add this little icon right here. It's basically the Notion icon, but with an I instead of an N. So if I do see an email in here that is something I need to follow up on, I can go ahead and add it to a Notion. Now, what I like about this plugin is it doesn't automatically add every email you receive to this email inbox inside of your Notion, just the ones that you designate. So for example, my friend sent me this. I'm going to potentially start working with her. This is something I need to follow up on. So I'm going to go ahead and click Inbox to Notion, and I'm going to go ahead and say, I don't need add any comment. But what I am going to go ahead and do is say, respond to Becky, brainstorm. And then I want to try to do this probably like relatively soon, but like not super urgently. I just want to respond by Wednesday. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that same thing with this person who is inquiring about my speaking services. So she said she's going to follow up with me. I hope to have answers by next week. So I'm just going to go ahead and put something in my inbox for a burnout workshop follow-up. And I'm going to go ahead and I want it to be urgent on the day that it's due, but not before then. So I'll just follow up with her next week, save to Notion. So then how this shows up in our Notion systems is it looks like this. All of the different things that I just added show up in here in this little email inbox table. So for example, this one is still a to-do, but actually I'm going to move it over to follow-up. Respond to Becky is going to be a to-do. This is more of a reference read later. This is more a reference read later as well. Oh wait, no, that one isn't. That's one I actually need to follow up on. This is a reference read later. I was clicking on the wrong one. And there we go. So all of them are now sorted into their respective locations, and it just kind of helps you organize the to-dos from your email inbox. And then the cool thing is when I get to the point where I am ready to respond to this person, I just click this link right here and it takes me right to that email. So that is Notion to Inbox. It helps you pull in the important tasks that originate from emails into your Notion systems where you're already dealing with task management anyway. So if you want to check this out, again, link down below. And now let's go ahead and chat about my next favorite app, The Gist. So many of the things that we do in Notion, you can either automate inside of Notion. You can use Zapier, which I am a Zapier fan when it comes to automation in Notion. I don't get Make. I know it's way cheaper, but Zapier's just so intuitive to use that I'm the person who would pay more to have something be easier. So I use Zapier. And there's so many automations that between Zapier and just Notion itself, we can just do. But there's certain things that I wanted to be able to make happen inside of Notion and to automate inside of Notion that I just couldn't. Like, for example, I wanted to have an approval process when I had new clients come into my world that I was potentially considering working with. So I wanted to be able to look at their application and decide yes or no whether or not I thought this person was a good fit for me to work with. If they were, we could proceed forward working together. If not, we didn't. So I wanted a way to automate that, to be able to indicate whether or not somebody was approved and to send them their next steps. The Gist is an automation tool that allowed me to do that, because what the Gist does that Zapier and various other platforms don't do is it serves as a trigger for things like when a status changes or when a box gets checked inside of your Notion systems. That used to be something that we couldn't necessarily trigger with Zapier, but the Gist allows for that to happen. Let me show you what I mean. I think the best way for me to show you how this works is to create a kind of dummy client account. So when a prospective client submits a speaking application form, it adds that client to my CRM. So let's just call this new client, and let's say this is a prospective one-on-one client. So it will create this new page inside of my CRM with all of their information from their application. So it's kind of spinning wheel of death down here, but let's say I've looked over their information and I have decided, yes, this is a person I want to work with. So I will check this box right here, and that is where the Gist comes in. So I have a webhook automation from the Gist that fires every single time I check that approved box. It connects to Zapier, which triggers Zapier to send an email to them saying, hey, I think we're a good fit. Let's schedule a call and chat. So that is the first way in which the Gist helps me onboard clients. Now, from there, let's say I have had this conversation with the client. I think we'd be a wonderful fit to work together, and we have decided to continue moving forward. At that point, I click this onboard new client button. I'm not going to go through the entire automation right now because I don't want it to fire when it doesn't need to. But I will go ahead and click continue. And this button that I have set up here will change the status to 1. And what it will do is it will check a converted box right here. That converted box triggers the next part of the automation in the Gist. So I have another webhook automation that connects to Zapier that when this button is checked for converted, tells Zapier to send an email to the client that sends them all of the payment information. So these two automations inside of the Gist that are set up as webhooks to Zapier are really, really crucial for driving this onboarding process. And it saves me so much time from having to send the same emails over and over again every time I'm onboarding a new client. So I highly recommend checking it out. You can head back to their website here to see some of their recommended ways to time save, to project manage, etc. inside of here. I feel like I'm just scratching the surface in terms of the capability of Gist, but it's an automation tool that I want to make sure you know about. Now we are in bonus territory. There's one more tool I want you to know about, and that is Akiflow. There are a lot of scheduling tools out there. There's Motion, which is all about the AI. There's Samsana. There's Reclaim AI. There are so many different scheduling tools out there. And recently I've been trying a bunch because I am actively looking into whether or not I have adult ADHD, because I've been finding more and more I need the structure of being able to define when I'm going to work on things throughout my day. Otherwise my day totally gets away from me. It has been a total thing. So I have been experimenting recently with Akiflow. And the reason why this is the app I recommend the most is if you are a Notion user, there is no other scheduling tool that will connect to Notion in the way that Akiflow will. I've tried Motion. You have to set up like some crazy automation through Zapier to even get Motion to pull in tasks from your Notion databases into Motion. I just didn't like any of the other ones. Akiflow was the only one that seamlessly communicated with Notion to pull in your tasks and help you schedule them in a way that frankly even Notion Calendar doesn't do. Don't get me started on Notion Calendar. I don't like Notion Calendar. But let me show you a little bit about Akiflow. So this is what Akiflow looks like. You can see that I got my calendar. I've got all of the different kind of self-care things that I'm doing, all that jazz right here. I actually need to start my power hour in just a second. But what I really love about Akiflow is all of these different tasks are being pulled in from my Notion database, which makes it so seamless for me to then be able to take these tasks and say, okay, I want to work on this one tomorrow after I do my power hour, and I want to update my coaching application here. Like, look how easy it is
to pull a task from Notion into my calendar and define and decide exactly when I want to work on it. This is something that frankly you cannot do with any of these other applications. It is so easy, it is so seamless. The only caveat of it is that it's going to edit the time property inside of your Notion. So you're going to get a lot of Notion notifications about the changes that you are making inside of Akiflow. But it is so easy. You can also go in and you can right click on it, set your priorities so that you can do a goal for the day or a high priority or a medium priority. You can also go in and assign projects to it. There is AI inside of Akiflow, but their AI currently is only for designating the projects that a task might go with, not necessarily for assigning them times. So there is some manual labor in the sense of assigning times, but frankly, I think it's worth it to not have to use a completely different task management tool just so it communicates better with your scheduling platform. That was what I ran into with Motion. Motion and Notion are not meant to communicate despite them having super similar names. They just don't communicate well with each other. And I found it so irritating using some of the other schedulers. Akiflow is by far the one that I enjoy the most. Scheduling.
So that is it, my friends. I hope that you learned something new. I hope that these were new tools for you, and I hope that you can really see the ways in which they can supercharge your productivity, save you time, all the things. If you've got any questions about any of them, be sure to drop them in the comments below. I've also got affiliate links down in the description, which I'm sure I said throughout the video. But with that, my friend, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your patience. Again, if you're liking content like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that, my friends, I will see you next time. Bye.